What's happening? I'm Ironman from the music group theLottory, Showtime Records. You know what the deal is. The 2018-19 NBA season has kicked off. You know I am a lifelong Laker, as you see the banner, so it always pains me to talk about the Boston Celtics. Okay, but we've got the Philadelphia 76ers, yes, with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, that tag team, that dynamic duo, facing off against the return of Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward after that gruesome injury off of the debut game in a Celtics uniform from last year to open up the season. But it was fantastic. If you enjoy these videos that we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell right next to it so you're alerted every time there's a brand new video. There are so many storylines. There's so many juicy facets that I could get into, but I want to save that because it's a long season. As the captain, Sky Hook, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, once told a rookie, Magic Johnson, after they won their first game, Magic Johnson jumped up into his air, into his arms, and he was just so excited. He was burning over the energy, but being the veteran that he is, he said, "Hold on, young fella. We got 81 more of these games. That wasn't the finals we just won." You know, but I just want to keep y'all on an even keel. I want to keep y'all nice and even tempered. I don't want y'all to burn out before you even get to, you know, that fantastic Christmas lineup featuring my boys versus the Golden State Warriors. But that's another story. We're going to talk about that at another time. There's so many different storylines that open up between this game. I don't want to go with what everybody else is talking about. That's not what I give you here on this channel. And this video right here is going to be fresh off my mind after watching the video and the highlights. This is going to be unedited, and I'll make it short and sweet as humanly possible for me doing a video. You know I like to go on to a tangent at any and all times. But there's so many different storylines going into this. Here's what I picked up from the game. Now I want y'all to think about this. I believe the Philadelphia 76ers, they shot, you know what, let me talk about this. First of all, mention the stuff that we're going to talk about later on during the season and stuff that I'm not going to go into depth right now. First of all, if you want to see the highlights, the individual highlights, please go check out Jayson Tatum. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. He had a lot of jumpers, a lot of Euro steps, and he was crashing the boards, played a little defense. I'm not mad at that guy at all. I feel bad for Jaylen Brown. He's like the forgotten man. All of a sudden, he was the sign of new hope, came in as a number 3 draft pick, and then all of a sudden, this guy just came in and... But that's another story. Let me see. Kyrie Irving came back. You know, Gordon Hayward came back. I'm glad to see both of them on the floor. Neither of them got hurt. Okay, then we got, Under Armour just signed Joel Embiid. I think they're going to give him a signature shoe. As we know, in the past, signature shoes have not sold well from big men. But easier to change all that. And then we got Markelle Fultz, a number 1 overall draft pick from last year. He returned in here. You know, he had that little problem with his shoulder. They missed a bunch of games during the season. It was craziness. I don't know what was going on with the process over there in Philadelphia. But he was back and in a starting role. Everyone said that Ben Simmons couldn't shoot. He couldn't shoot. I would like to see what was going on with that. And all those trade rumors for all the Celtics players, you know, trying to get Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, or just whoever they could get to bolster their lineup so they could win the championship. And how would the Celtics come out knowing that big bad LeBron James had moved on to the Los Angeles Lakers? You know, there's a bunch of storylines to go into. But this is what I want you to really think. This is what I took away from the game. This is what I took away from the game. This is what I give you, that in-depth analysis. You ready? Can't nobody shoot. I'm not the greatest jump shooter in the world. And so I know about people not knowing how to shoot. Man, I've struggled with it my entire life because I'm a fan of Magic Johnson. I've been always a pass first, fast breaking type of guy. So we've never been into pulling up for jumpers all the time. It was never our thing growing up. So I was never really taught that. You know, I'm just learning now. I'm going back to the basics. But Nobody else could hit a jumper. No threes. I believe the Sixers shot around 19%. You know, as a team or as an individual, shooting 40% from three-pointer, that's good. You got the green light. You shoot as many as you want to. We can win with that. Anything below that is a problem, and you probably don't want to be shooting as many threes as you think about taking in today's game of NBA basketball. But they shot about 19%. Not going to win any games. You're not going to win any games. That's right off top. That's right off top, bro. You're not going to win any game shooting 19%. I believe their sharpshooter, JJ Redick, who came off the bench for Markelle Fultz, he was like 1 for 8 or some horrific number. He's one of the best shooters, or known as to be one. His reputation as being one of the best shooters in the entire league. Shot like 1 of 8. But what really got me? Oh, speaking of the Celtics, they won the game. They shot about 30%. 29-30%, which is still horrible. If one of these teams makes it out of the East and plays whoever, obviously it's going to be my Los Angeles Lakers. I told you that months ago that my Lakers are going to go to the finals. They win that championship and get sized up for my ring. But besides that, if they play them or anybody else, you might have to hit a couple of threes. 19% is not going to cut it. 29% is most likely not going to cut it. These guys cut it. These guys, they were bricklaying up there. It was horrific. But we need to. Speaking of that, you was like, oh man, maybe Markelle Fultz was, chucking up a bunch of bricks, and so Ben Simmons too. We knew they could shoot. I don't believe they shot a three-pointer between the two of them. After that whole offseason, knowing they needed to expand their games and show and demonstrate that they could shoot the three and had confidence to at least put it up, make it or miss, you got to put up some of those shots. Now, I'm not saying you got to be Steve Kerr, you ain't got to be Steph Curry, but you got to hit a reasonable amount just to provide that spacing. Provide that spacing for Joel Embiid to do some stuff down low. Okay, for Al Horford, that consummate professional, that all-star reserve like every year. He doesn't do anything fantastic, but he does everything really, really well. So he's always like a reserve, for the all-star team. Shout outs to him. But you're going to have to get some bucket. You got to knock down some open shots. If you want a chance to be one of the elite teams, if you just want to be a really good team, you can hit 19%, 30%, because you got the athletes and the defensive prowess and the excellent coaching and all that. But if you want an elite team, you want to win a championship anytime soon, you're going to have to knock down a couple of them. But Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, they didn't shoot any. What are they doing over there in Philadelphia? What are they doing? How are you supposed to develop confidence during game time situations if you ain't taking those shots? That's a problem. That is a problem. That is a huge, huge issue. Brett Brown, he needs to do something about that. They're saying he's a great coach, came off the tree from Greg Popovich. He needs to do better. He has got to do better, starting off. And some of those guys, the bench for the Celtics was great. Kyrie Irving came in there. Glad he was feeling healthy, but he didn't look so good at all. Now, I don't want to jump the gun and jump to conclusions, but he was looking very rusty, and I expected him to. Gordon Hayward looked very rusty, but he did come around and knock down a couple of shots. Kyrie Irving was horrific. It was terrible, and you could tell that he was extremely rusty. Not just talking about practice, but I'm talking about game time situations. It's a lot different just practicing every day against the same damn people every damn time. But that's what I took away from the game. Will they eventually trade Terry Rozier? Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, he knows his worth. And he wants like $20 million a year, and he wants to be a starter. Kyrie Irving was looking rough. It's going to take him a while to get back into game shape. And you have, Uncle Drew form. It's going to take a while for that. Will they eventually trade him, Terry Rozier, or will they trade Kyrie Irving? Who knows? But these are the storylines that we're going to go off into the future. Gordon Hayward, will he eventually get back to his borderline all-star form? Man, is anyone going to make Markelle Fultz or Ben Simmons take an outside jumper? Can't win like that. You can't have your starting backcourt taking no threes. That is just not going to work unless you're just dominating in the mid-range and posting up and getting to the break to the foul line. Man, it's going to be rough. But those are the things you need to check out. Those are the things that stood out to me during this game. Also, one more thing. They came out, Joel Embiid came out. He came out pretty sharp. But it was slow going for most of the first quarter for both teams. I think they were still trying to feel each other out. I think it was because Kyrie, Irving, Gordon Hayward, they were getting the minutes at the beginning of the first quarter. So it was a little different. Everybody was trying to get used to each other. So everybody was a feeling out process. So that's what slowed down the game for the most part. But during the second, third, 5, 6, and 7, those are some numbers I want you to remember. The Sixers got outscored by 5 points in the second quarter. They got outscored by 6 points in the third quarter. They got outscored by 7 points in the fourth quarter. Yeah, they progressively got worse and worse. The Celtics got stronger and stronger because their bench was producing. They basically had 4 guys who were producing off the bench for the Celtics and only one guy, J.J. Redick, who's producing for the 76ers. And that's a problem. That's the bottom line. They don't have anybody to come off the bench who can get buckets and provide that insertion of energy, that jolt that you need, that boost, to get y'all through those doldrums of the parts of the games where everything's a little sluggish. But that's what I have. Those are my ideas, my thoughts and views on the game, the opening game of the 2018-19 season, the NBA season. Make sure if you enjoy this content, share this with your friends, your families, your homies, your neighbors. I'm not going to go into the full spill because it's just the first game. I don't want to get y'all too riled up. But make sure you share it with everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted every time there's a brand new video. I appreciate everybody's support. And stay tuned because the in-depth analysis of the Golden State, the defending 2-time champion Golden State Warriors versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, a little Westbrook light is coming up right after this. I'll holla.